So I've done lots of Forgotten Media Fridays up to this point, covering almost 2 seasons. I get most of my info on the Lost Media Wiki. If I haven't mentioned that before, I want to give a big shout out to these guys. The site is awesome. But back on topic. There's some Lost Media that is too short to make into a video. Some there's barely information at all, which is understandable. But there's some media I'd like to talk about separately. So here's 10 Lost Media pieces that I will never make into a video. I'll put the link to some of the articles down below if you want to see more about the topic. Without further ado, this is 10 pieces of Lost Media. Luck Be in Ed Tonight and Room with Ed are 2 episodes of the 5th season of Ed, Edd n Eddy. They were never released to the public or possibly never even finished. The only evidence of both of these episodes' existence were in a season 5 sneak peek list posted on the Edtropolis news page in 2005. Luck Be in Ed Tonight was about Ed discovering that according to his horoscope, it was his luckiest day ever, resulting in Eddie using it to his advantage. A Room with an Ed was about Sarah and Jimmy kicking Ed out of his room so that they could turn it into a personal playroom of theirs. It's unknown how much of these episodes were finished. Perhaps we'll never know. Bing Bong's Alternate Death. In Inside Out, a Pixar film released in 2015, it focuses on having different emotions inside of your head. One of the characters is Bing Bong, an imaginary character created by our main character, Riley. Towards the end of the film, Joy and Bing Bong fall into the memory dump after Riley steals her mother's credit card in order to pay for her ticket to a bus. They try to escape the dump by using Bing Bong's rocket, and after the first 2 attempts fail, Bing Bong convinces Joy to come with him one more time. In the middle of the ride, he sacrifices her life for her by jumping off the rocket. According to Bing Bong's voice actor Richard Kind, the original cut of the final part of the scene was a bit longer, being 45 seconds to a minute of extra footage, and the audience could hear him pleading more and see his part-fading body. Many people who worked at Pixar preferred this version of the scene shown in the final film. It was cut due to concerns it would be too upsetting for the audience to view. Since it's not even a deleted scene on the Blu-ray, the scene may never be revealed. Mickey and Minnie Mouse Pornography. In 1936, shortly before Walt Disney's 35th birthday, 2 unknown animators decided that it would be funny if they were to animate a short of Mickey and Minnie Mouse having sex for the party. When the short was shown, Walt Disney laughed before complimenting the quality of the animation and asked as who had created it. Once the 2 animators revealed themselves, he immediately fired them. It has been claimed that he ordered the destruction of all known copies of the animation shortly thereafter. It is unknown if any copies of this short survived after this. Many have denounced the story's existence entirely, as the first public recounting of the story was in Mark Elliott's 1994 Disney biography, Walt Disney Hollywood's Dark Prince, a book which has caused a significant amount of controversy among other authors and colleges. But do keep in mind this is just a legend, so take it with a grain of salt. The Avengers Earth's the Mightiest Heroes, Josh Keaton's performance. The animated series The Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes had famous Marvel comic hero Spider-Man guest star in 4 episodes. Along Came a Spider, Yellow Jacket, New Avengers, Avengers Assemble, also the series finale. Before they premiered, a rumor arose that Josh Keaton recorded the voice of Spidey. He previously voiced his character in the cartoon The Spectacular Spider-Man, and 5 Marvel-themed video games. However, when the episodes released instead of Josh Keaton, they heard Drake Bell, who went on to voice Spidey in Ultimate Spider-Man. Apparently, they redubbed Josh Keaton's voice, which sucks, and the audio files have not been released to this day. Oh well. Buzz Lightyear Star Command. The show isn't lost in any way, I just figured I'd talk about it due to requests. It stars Buzz having adventures in space with Mira Nova, Princess, Booster, a former janitor, and a robot. They have to save the universe from the evil Emperor Zurg. It's an alright show. The writing is sometimes pretty good, and I think the show has lots of charm. It's not as good as Toy Story, obviously, but it doesn't really need to be. It's an alright show. Monster Trucks, original version. Monster Trucks, a Nickelodeon movie released in 2017, had lots of delays. One reason the film being pushed back was a disastrous test screening. As reported by someone who was involved in the production of the film, it's difficult to imagine a worse response. As soon as the monster came on screen, the children started to scream, and scream, and scream. Kids ran out of the cinema, parents swearing. By the time the screening was over, we lost about 50% of our audience. End quote. The creature looked like a cross between Judge Doom and a mentally handicapped E.T. and a squid. About half of the audience of parents and children left before the screening was over. After the screening, Paramount Pictures forced a year-long delay in the film, having it heavily recut and the design of the creatures significantly altered to avoid frightening young children like before. Sounds like an interesting test screening. Sonic Live in Sydney. Sonic Live at Sydney was a half-hour show hosted at the Sega World Sydney amusement park. It followed the Sonic the Hedgehog SATAM version series and the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 video game, where Dr. Robotnik's Death Egg crashes into Australia instead of Angel Island, causing him to attempt a takeover of Sydney. There were 3 songs, respectively sung by Sonic, Robotnik, and Sally Acorn, of which have all been recorded on audio and uploaded on YouTube, as well as the voices and such. However, no video footage of the live show itself has surfaced online. Both Sega World Sydney and, consequently, the live show were closed in 2000, followed by the building it was hosting in being demolished in 2008, meaning that the chance of resurfacing footage being even lower. I will put a link to the songs down below, but do be careful, it may be a cringe fest. South Park. South Park was a cancelled open world video game based on the television series of the same name. It was developed by Ubisoft and BuzzMonkey Software in 2005. The game would have been released for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube before being scrapped for unknown reasons. We're pretty sure the game would have followed a GTA or The Simpsons hit and run style of gameplay, where the player could roam around freely around the town, drive vehicles, fight pedestrians, and complete missions. 2 members of the YouTube channel Happy Console Gamer discovered prototype gameplay in Xbox Development Kit. The gameplay was early and unfinished, but much of its open world lies intact. Other less complete sections showcase systems not yet built into the main game. Only a cutscene and some gameplay has resurfaced. Josh Keaton in Spider-Man 2002. After Spider-Man the movie released in 2002, Treyarch were given the rights to make a game adaptation. They hired Josh Keaton in his first role as the webhead due to thinking they couldn't get Tobey Maguire from the film. But Tobey agreed, and Josh Keaton voiced Harry Osborn instead of Peter Parker / Spider-Man. The audio has never been leaked of Keaton's performance. It probably would have been pretty cool to hear his first performance as the character. Dragon Ball Z Kai's Ocean Dub. Dragon Ball Z Kai is a re-edited cut of the popular anime Dragon Ball Z. Kai originally aired for 98 episodes. It features remastered visuals, a redone soundtrack, and the removal of filler. An Ocean Dub was planned just like the original Dragon Ball Z, but never released. A conversation took place in April 2010 on Facebook about the Ocean Dub by an anonymous user named Sub-Zero Ice, and a now-deleted conversation with Funimation voice actor Sean Samel. Here's what Sub-Zero had to say. Here's why the Ocean Dub will suck. It has nothing to do with the actors, as I have enormous respect for all of them. But as far as I know, the Ocean Dub is going to have this really crappy music, some of which I have heard, and a whole host of added sound effects such as doinks and boinks, and even in one scene where Bulma simply turns her head in a conversation, you hear a whoosh, sound a lot a bad martial arts movie. We're going to give you the purest Dragon Ball Z experience possible. If you don't like that, then you don't like Dragon Ball Z. End quote. And nothing has been released, other than some actors confirming its existence. It's probably for the best that this stays lost. Crash Landed, or I Am Crash Bandicoot. Crash Land was a game set to release for the PlayStation 3, Wii, Xbox 360, and Nintendo DS. The Wii, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 versions of the game got developed by Radical Entertainment, while the DS version was developed by Renegade Kid. Despite development on the game starting in 2009, it was canceled when Activision decided to lay off the entire development team behind the game, and Radical instead made Prototype 2. Not much is known about this project, and only screenshots and demo exist. This game may stay hidden forever.